Okay, folks, if you saw the first video, definitely share it with your friends, like it, make a comment. It's kind of interesting, but it's time to play the game. You gotta roll the dice. Oh, it's a 6. Okay, we looked at 6. We gotta pick a yellow one today. It says, let's see, go through planning board, permit process, approval, build on land, okay, housing, historical society, all the fun stuff. Wow. Okay, you see, all that process we have to do. Now, for several years, we had the process of clearing the land, getting a subdivision plan on it, doing everything you would normally do, and this took a while. I worked on the road, cleared it, built my house, built my garage, and things like that. My house was already on the land before we got it cleared. So the process was always taking place. The goal was to get a clear title. There's no flaws on the land. And that was our process, to see what we can do. The land around me was being land courted, and nothing was ever said to us, but we find out things were occurring that shouldn't have happened. We'll let you know more on this. Back to the game. Liberty Hill Inn. Fun stuff. Ooh, 10. Ooh. Colonial House Inn. Wow. Oh. Utility tax. Wow, it's killing us. We need one of those zooming poles. Alright, to make a long story short, this is what happens when you do a lot of things with land and things. You got to go through a lot of the processing, which we did. So we're the ones that are doing all the work. Then of course, we get it to a point, my mother is paying the taxes on a subdivision plan. I'm paying my taxes on a house that I think is fine, and building my garage and doing work and helping her with a store. So this is what occurs. Of course, she gets older and passes away. It's probably been close to almost 20 years since she's been passed. I'd have to do the math, but we'll get back to that part of it. Now, let's roll the dice. And let's see here, we're rolling the dice. Double 4s. Oh no. We're on probate court. Doesn't look good. Your title examiner claims your property back to land court. Oh no. Now, the probate court system ruled that my title examiner, who he paid to do all that research and gave him all that money, claims they own the property. They found the legal owners to it, which we thought was kind of peculiar because we paid her to do the work. In my mind, that is considered privileged information, and you can't use it against your client. I don't care how old it is. It's not appropriate. But make a long story short, through a small process, we had to go back through the probate court system, and then it was shifted to land court. Everything we did once, I got to do it all over again. This gets real interesting and real quick. Then I find out what's going on around me. We'll show you. Ah, 5, 7, 8. All right. What do we got here? Lawyers not willing to prosecute by scam, ethic laws, racketeering, insider trading, insurance fraud. Wow. Now, make a long story short, the insurance company, the Tycor insurance company, they said, oh, they have a claim. So they paid me a lot of money. They say, here's your money. He says, if you are going to, keep the land, you have to fight it again yourself. So that's why I have to go to land court, because they won't do it for me. Oh, this is getting crazy now. All right, roll the dice. Where are we going here? Back into probate court here. And let's see what it says here. John Eldridge property sold in 1888. Committing interest. So, 12 acres. Oh, so the John Eldridge property sold for $48,000. Ah, it was fake. The road that goes through the subdivision up there is called Fisk Lane. Was sold at auction. Betty Eldridge already sold the land. You couldn't be more confused than me. To make a long story short, property beside me was 12 acres, they said. But I always thought it was the Boy Scout camp. The Boy Scout camp was claimed it was John Eldridge's property. And it was at one point. But it wasn't after I did my research that took me almost 8 years. I couldn't understand why I couldn't figure it out. Because they filed a claim at the probate court system to buy, if you can believe it, 12 acres of land for $48,000 at a private sale. And from the people from New York, because that's where John Eldridge lived. And it never made any sense until I did my own research and found out John Eldridge owned the land, died, they subdivided the property, the town took a piece, and the road went through there called Fisk Lane, and Betty Eldridge, which was his wife, and of course he had 2 wives. His first wife was Lucy, but not to make too much out of this, Lucy sold the land to Thomas Berries, but it was only like 2 acres. It wasn't 12. So it's kind of a land scan thing, and I'll show you a little video now of what's been going on, and we'll kind of conclude what we've been doing. Game's still on. Okay, here's a video. This is a foundation planted in the middle of what we would call Fisk Street. And down here we got a gate blocking the road off now. This was a town road. As far as I know, it was defined in, I think, 1909. Telephone poles somewhat still exist on it. But the town didn't do anything to fight it. and it's a town way, and there's paperwork on it. So, are you totally confused yet? Just to make it clear, the property of John Eldridge is the same people who are claiming my property through the probate court system. They're claiming John Eldridge's property. So if you take 8 acres and you take 12, that's a huge chunk of land. And they figured they could walk in, take all this land. And the reason why the town never defended 5th Street, the lawyers who work for the town don't defend the property of the town. They take it. Or they let people take it and look the other way. Okay, there'll be more games coming up. I'll warm up the dice for the next roll. Stay tuned for the next number 3. And like, share, let people know this video is going on for the next round. It'll kind of give you the insides, but if you figure it out, a minute a year is what I've been going through. It's probably 30, 35 years of my life. And they do it because they just drag you down thinking you got to give up property you legally own.